Today we're going to learn how to make calcium powder using our shells from our fresh yard eggs. Welcome back to the Cozy Cottage Homestead. Today we're going to be using our eggs from our chickens. Actually, we're going to be using the shells to make a calcium powder. I had mentioned that in a video a while back, and I kind of did a little rough rundown of it. And today I'm going to show you how I actually do that. So the first thing I do is, like, whenever I know I'm going to cook up a bunch of eggs, I save the eggshells. And then when I get a good many of them, like this was 3 dozen eggs, I literally wash them in the sink with soapy hot water and then let them dry out. And then I put them in the oven at about probably the lowest temperature for about 30 minutes. Now I know some people use a different method and they actually boil the eggs. To me, I feel like it robs the eggs of the nutrition. So I just wash them and then let them dry out for a day or two, and then I bake them at a low temperature for about a half an hour or so. Or if you didn't have an oven, you could dehydrate them, so to speak, dry them out really good in the sun on a pan or something like that. That works, or a Schuller dehydrator, because you just want them to be dry, and the purpose of cleaning them out is to get all the extra residue from the eggs out. And the other reason, if you were composting them and putting them straight into your compost bin, it wouldn't be a problem. But if you just threw them out in your garden just like they were, just after you cracked the egg, you could attract critters, and then it could grow bacteria and different kind of things that you don't want to be growing in your garden and causing your plants to have problems and disease and stuff like that. So it's best to clean your eggs first, let them dry, bake them for about a half an hour on a low temperature, or dehydrate them in the sun. And then after that, you're ready to go. But first, I'm going to go over a few facts. I've already done everything. I've actually already started making some of the powder, and this is the jar that I started with. This was one that I had left over of calcium powder. But I'm going to read you a few interesting things about eggshells that you may or may not have known. Why waste your eggshells when you can use them for a natural calcium supplement? Which we know calcium is what our body needs to have healthy nails, hair, teeth, and bones, and prevent other problems with our health. Eggshell powder also has protein, magnesium, selenium, and other compounds that are good for our health. Did you know? I did not know. I knew somewhat about this, but I didn't know the precise measurements. So did you know that just a half of a dried eggshell will provide you your daily required amount of calcium for an adult per day, which is about, I think it said 1,000 milligrams of calcium. But so that's about a teaspoon of calcium a day. So how would you add that eggshell to your diet after you make it into a powder? You can simply add it to recipes. You can add it to water, to tea, smoothies. There's lots of different ways to add the powder. It is also good for all of us, for humans, for animals, and of course for the garden, which is the most common way that I like to use it, is in the garden. I occasionally add it to smoothies and other recipes, depending on if someone's not feeling good, or if we're having body aches and pains, stuff like that along those lines. Especially during the winter time, having more joint pain, arthritis, stuff along those lines. Powdered eggshell can last up to 10 years if stored correctly. It has to be kept extremely dry and in a dark place with an airtight container. This container is not specifically airtight, but it does get pretty tight using the recycled mayonnaise lids. I do drop a couple of oxygen absorbers in it. But again, we go through the eggshells quite quickly. So we don't keep a lot of it stored up because We don't have a whole lot of room for extra storage for lots of different things like that. And plus, we don't really feel like it's completely necessary to store up a bunch because we have, we make about 3 or 4 quarts per year, and we don't make any more than that. We just make what we know we're going to use throughout the grow season, or if we want to use it as a supplement. And the other thing is we have chickens, so we have an ongoing supply that's happening year round. And this past year our chickens never even stopped laying. They slowed down some, but they never completely quit laying, so we constantly had a source coming in. So instead of throwing out those eggshells, I've been keeping them to make calcium powder. So there really wasn't that big of a need for us to store up a whole lot of the egg powder because we have eggs coming in every day. Now you could make some up and make a bunch up and sell it or gift it to family and friends or neighbors, but here in our area it does not seem to be that much of an interest for all of the natural things that we make to save money and just to avoid all the extra added ingredients that is put into our vitamins and such. So it's just more convenient for a lot of people just to go to the store or go online and buy stuff, such as the calcium supplements. But who knows, there may come a day to where you can't just go to the grocery store and buy what you need. It may not be available. And then that's when these skills and the knowledge of knowing how to make your own calcium supplement comes in handy. So, and you also can make these into capsules. Some people may not could stomach the idea of just the mental thought that this is just a bunch of powdered up eggshells. You can buy a little tool that makes calcium, makes capsules, so you could grind this even finer and fill some capsules with this little capsule tool and make your own, just like at the grocery store, calcium tablets or caplets, so that you can make your own calcium supplement. Capsules, that's the word I was looking for. So today I'm just going to make a quick video. I'm going to show you how to do it. Very simple, very easy. Just wanted to go over a few of those things with you. And also look into it. Do your own research. There's also a lot of other things you can use calcium powder for. I just touched on the basics just to spark your interest a little bit. So I've already done all the steps. I mentioned that earlier. And then I put it into the little chopper. Now you can use a small chopper. This is my coffee grinder that I use for herbs and such like that. And since this is, in my opinion, and this is why I don't use this instead of a little mini chopper, whenever you stick it back on there, well, you flip it upside down like this and stick it on there. It has a little air pocket right here where the air comes out, and since we're making calcium powder, yes, you guessed it, it makes it come out and it makes more of a mess. Even though my countertop is all clean, all of this on here is clean eggshell powder. So it makes more of a mess, and I feel like it fumes it into the air more, and if the air, the dust from the egg calcium bothers you, you might want to wear a mask. I generally don't. But I feel like with the little chopper here, it just falls down because the gravity falls down. This one has it where you put it on top, so you lose some more out. This one still does make a little bit of dust, but not near as much. So this one's almost ready. I'm going to go ahead and finish it up. If I got my lid on right. If everything's not just right, it's not going to work. Well, let's see. I think I'm already done with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and dump it. We're going to start over. How about that? And add that to the pint. I don't think this one's going to make as much as like a quart because it's a smaller batch. It was 3 dozen. Sounds like a lot. 3 dozen cleaned, washed, dried out in the oven eggshells. So I just, hopefully it's right now. I break them up a little bit because they really crumble easy after being baked in the oven or even dried out in the sun. and just fill it up. Very simple, very easy, and I'm not going to do all of them, just so y'all could get the basic idea. Maybe something new you're still learning and curious about, making things yourself at home, doing more natural things. This is 100% natural way to get your calcium. So let's try that and see how that does. Move this one out the way. And I'm not going to zoom in. It's kind of self-explanatory. And you just want to get it as small as you want it, depending on what you're using it for. And for what we're mostly using it for the garden, this is all it needs to be. It's chopped, it's powdered, but it's not completely powdered. We're going to do one more little round, and that's going to be all. That's about gonna get it, and I will finish these up after the video is over. So just a quick little video on how to make some, yeah, you can see that powder a little bit after you open that lid, but just a quick little video on how to make calcium powder and turn it into a calcium supplement straight from your homestead. So here on the homestead, we try to utilize everything. We try not to waste anything. And this is just one more good way that you can use your eggshells. Of course, throw some in your compost bin. But if you want to make some more of a powder for human consumption, or for your animals, or for your garden, just a quick little video to show you how simple it is to do that. So if you have any more questions, as always, feel free to email me. Well, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you all for leaving friendly comments. So farewell, homestead family, friends, and neighbors from the Cozy Cottage Homestead.